Welcome back to Auto Garage, and today we are taking a deep dive into a truly unique piece of American automotive history, the 1945 Plymouth Road Runner. Now, before we even start, it's important to understand that 1945 was a year unlike any other for the car industry. The world was emerging from the shadows of World War II, and the American auto market was slowly returning to civilian vehicle production after years of focusing almost entirely on building equipment for the war effort. The Plymouth Road Runner name would become famous in later decades, especially in the muscle car era of the late 1960s, but for 1945, what we have is a fascinating blend of pre-war styling, rugged mechanical simplicity, and post-war resilience. It's a car that carries the DNA of Plymouth's dependable, value-driven engineering while foreshadowing the sporty character that the Road Runner name would later embody. Looking at the exterior, the 1945 Plymouth Road Runner is a car that exudes that classic, post-war American charm. The design was rooted in pre-war models because, during wartime, there had been no major styling updates. When production restarted in 45, manufacturers largely continued where they had left off in 1942, with only small tweaks. The front end featured a bold, upright grille with horizontal chrome bars, giving it a confident, almost formal presence on the road. The large round headlights sat proudly on each front fender, with chrome bezels adding a touch of refinement. The hood was long and flat, tapering toward the grille, and adorned with a subtle ornament that hinted at Plymouth's pride in craftsmanship. The body lines were smooth but substantial, with gently curving fenders that flowed into the doors and rear quarter panels. Running boards had mostly disappeared by this time, so the sides looked cleaner and more integrated. The roofline had a graceful curve, with large windows for better visibility, something Plymouth always emphasized in their designs. Chrome trim was used sparingly but effectively, around the windows, along the beltline, and on the bumpers, giving the car a balanced look between luxury and practicality. At the rear, the trunk was generous for the era, with small, functional taillights mounted at each corner and a sturdy chrome bumper below. The overall stance of the car was slightly elevated, supported by large steel wheels wrapped in period-correct bias-ply tires, making it ready for the rougher road conditions of the time. Under the hood, the 1945 Plymouth Road Runner was powered by Plymouth's trusted flathead inline-six engine, displacing around 218 cubic inches and producing roughly 95 horsepower. While that might not sound like much by modern standards, back in 1945 it was more than enough for a dependable family sedan. The engine was designed for smooth, steady power delivery, with a focus on reliability and ease of maintenance rather than raw speed. Its torque came on early, making it ideal for city driving and the occasional stretch on rural highways. The simple carbureted setup and robust cast iron block made it a workhorse that could withstand years of service with only basic upkeep. The transmission was a 3-speed manual, column-mounted, which was standard for the time. Gear changes were deliberate and mechanical, and mastering the clutch and shifter was part of the driving experience. The rear-wheel drive layout gave the car a balanced feel on the road, and the leaf spring suspension front and rear provided a comfortable, if slightly bouncy, ride. Drum brakes on all four wheels were adequate for the car's performance, though they required more attention and anticipation than modern braking systems. In terms of performance, this Plymouth wasn't a sports car, it was a solid, reliable cruiser. Top speed was around 80 miles per hour, and while it wasn't built for quick acceleration, it could handle steady highway speeds without fuss. The focus was on delivering a smooth, dependable drive for families and professionals, something Plymouth had built its reputation on. The fuel economy was respectable for its size, often achieving between 15 and 18 miles per gallon depending on driving style, which was a practical figure in an era when fuel prices were low but people valued efficiency. Inside, the 1945 Plymouth Road Runner continued the theme of durability and straightforward function. The dashboard was metal, painted to match the exterior or in a complementary tone, with large, easy-to-read gauges set into a symmetrical layout. The speedometer was central, flanked by smaller dials for fuel, oil pressure, and engine temperature. Chrome accents and bakelite knobs added a touch of elegance without unnecessary extravagance. The steering wheel was large, thin-rimmed, and often two-toned, giving it a distinctive period look. The bench seats, both front and rear, were upholstered in durable cloth or leatherette, designed to withstand heavy use. There was ample legroom in the front, and the rear seat could comfortably accommodate 3 passengers. The floor was covered in rubber mats or simple carpeting, depending on the trim level, and ventilation was handled by a manual cowl vent and crank-operated windows. Heating was optional in some versions, and air conditioning was still a far-off luxury for most cars in this period. Driving the 1945 Plymouth Road Runner was an experience rooted in mechanical connection. You could feel the road through the steering wheel, hear the gentle hum of the flathead 6, and appreciate the rhythm of the gearbox as you shifted through the gears. It was a slower, more deliberate way of driving compared to today's cars, but it offered a sense of control and engagement that many enthusiasts still cherish. When it came to pricing back in 1945, the Plymouth Road Runner offered exceptional value. It was positioned as a mid-priced car, affordable for the average American household, with a base price in the range of $1,100 to $1,300, depending on body style and options, which in today's money would be somewhere around $17,000 to $20,000 adjusted for inflation. That price included solid build quality, dependable performance, and a car that could serve a family for many years without major mechanical issues. Today, the 1945 Plymouth Road Runner is a rare sight. Because civilian car production in 1945 was still limited due to the tail end of wartime restrictions, very few of these models were built compared to peacetime years. Surviving examples are highly collectible, especially those in original or fully restored condition. Prices on the collector market vary widely based on condition, originality, and provenance. A well-preserved, unrestored example might fetch between $25,000 and $40,000, while a fully restored show-quality car could command anywhere from $50,000 to $70,000 or more at auction. Vehicles with documented wartime history or rare factory options can push those numbers even higher. For collectors and enthusiasts, the appeal of the 1945 Plymouth Road Runner lies not just in its rarity but in its representation of a pivotal moment in automotive history. It's a bridge between the pre-war era of flowing fenders and chrome accents and the post-war years of rapid innovation and design evolution. It also carries the Plymouth brand's hallmark traits of reliability, value, and sensible engineering. Even though later Roadrunner models from the late 1960s would become synonymous with speed, muscle, and youthful energy, the 1945 version offers a completely different kind of charm. It's about history, craftsmanship, and the enduring appeal of a car built with honesty and purpose. Restoring one is a labor of love, requiring attention to detail to match factory specifications, and driving one is like stepping back in time, where every turn of the wheel and press of the pedal connects you to a simpler era. Whether you see it at a classic car show, tucked away in a private collection, or cruising down a small town main street, the 1945 Plymouth Road Runner is a reminder of how far the automotive world has come, and how much we can still appreciate the elegance and resilience of a car built 80 years ago. Its understated design, steady performance, and historical significance make it more than just a collector's item. It's a tangible piece of America's post-war recovery, a rolling symbol of optimism and durability that still has the power to turn heads and start conversations wherever it goes.